Hello, welcome to this first session of the discussion of Chinua Achebe's novel Things Fall Apart. Things Fall Apart has three sections. The first section takes place in a village called Umuofia. The second section takes place at Mbanta, and the third section takes place again in Umuofia. Things Fall Apart describes the falling apart or the disintegration of the Igbo community of people of Africa because of colonial intervention, because of the arrival of the white people. This novel was published in the year 1958, and the setting of the novel is a cluster of 9 fictional villages called Umuofia, and the community presented in this novel is the Igbo community of Nigeria. And it is also important to know that Nigeria got independence from British rule in the year 1960. The novel is thus published 2 years before Nigeria's independence from British rule in the year 1958. This novel, Things Fall Apart, describes the disintegration of not only the Igbo community of people, tribe, it also presents the rise and fall of a particular individual. And this protagonist is Okonkwo, Okonkwo. When the novel begins, Okonkwo is 38 years old. He has already become a man of great fame, and he has also prospered greatly with a huge family with 3 wives, with a title, and his fame has spread across all these 9 villages of Umuofia. Okonkwo rose to fame at the age of 18 when he defeated Amalinze, 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 who is also known as the cat, in a wrestling match. Before that defeat, Amalinze was the undisputed lord of wrestling for almost 7 years. But it was Okonkwo who stopped his tenure of victory, and he defeated Amalinze in a famous wrestling match. And after that, Okonkwo's fame spread like a bushfire. The novel takes place 20 years after Okonkwo defeated Amalinze. By this time, Okonkwo has possessed a large family with 3 wives. His first wife is called Noe's mother. The actual name of the first wife is not mentioned in the novel. She is called the mother of Noe, Nwoya. Noe is the son of Okonkwo. The second wife is Ekwefi, Ekwefi. And with Ekwefi, Okonkwo has a daughter, Ezinma, Ezinma. Okonkwo's third wife is Ojiugo, Ojiugo. Okonkwo fought very hard in life to become successful. He did not inherit much from his father. His father Unoka, 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 was a man of very weak nature. He did not take care of his family well. He did not provide the family with enough food. Unoka was a man of lazy nature. He was more interested in gossiping and singing. He would often travel from villages to village with his band of singers and dancers, and he would take very little care of his family. Unoka was also a man who was always in debt. Since he did not work very hard to grow any food for his family, he would always borrow money from the others. The local currency in this story is called cowry, Cowry. So Unoka would always borrow cowries from others, and people would often come to his house asking for that money, but Unoka would never pay them back. This was a kind of reputation that Unoka had at Umuofia, and for this the people of Umuofia called Unoka an Agbala, Agabala. The word Agbala in Igbo language stands not only for a woman, it also refers to a man with a weak nature of woman. In other words, people in Umuofia called Unoka a man of very weak nature like a woman. Unoka would often blame his chi for his bad condition in his life. Chi, Chi, Chi is the name of the individual god given by the people of Umuofia. So Unoka would often blame his chi for his bad fortune. Once Unoka went to the oracle of the caves and hills. The presence of the oracle of the caves and hills is an important thing in the religious tradition of Umuofia. People would go to the oracles of the caves and hills to know more about their lives. In the shrine of the oracle of the caves and hills, a priestess would pronounce the judgment of the oracle. A priestess would speak on behalf of the oracle. During those days, a priestess called Chika was there at the oracle of the caves and hills. When Unoka went to the oracle of the caves and hills and asked the priestess about his misfortune, the priestess just told Unoka to work hard in his land to grow more food for his family. But Unoka was such a weak man that he would not do that. Towards the end of his life, Unoka suffered from the disease of swelling of his stomach and swelling of his legs. And at Umuofia, a person who would develop this kind of a disease of swelling of the stomach and swelling of the legs, that kind of a person was called a very sinful person. And such a person with that kind of a disease would not be allowed to stay at home anymore once the person would develop that kind of a disease. Therefore, Unoka was taken and was left in the evil forest. In the tradition of Igbo community in the tradition of Umuofia, evil forest was the space, was the location where sinful persons and all other things which society would consider unacceptable would be left there. As Unoka developed that kind of a sinful disease, he was also left there to die alone. Ultimately, Unoka did not get any proper bearing after his death. The tradition and culture of Umuofia also considers twin babies unacceptable. They also considered that twin babies were quite unnatural to their society. Therefore, Okunko's friend Oberika, Obierika, Oberika's twin babies were also asked to be left inside the evil forest. This was the kind of tradition and culture followed by these people at Umuofia. Okunko would always remember the condition of Unoka, and Okunko always had this in his mind that he would never be like his father. The only purpose of living in life for Okunko was to avoid being like his own father Unoka, and therefore from a very early stage of his life, Okunka tried to show physical power and manliness. At a very young age, Okunko took the responsibility of the family upon himself. He borrowed yam seeds from other rich farmers, planted them. Although he was first unsuccessful because of bad weather, dry weather, he did not lose heart. He worked hard again, and then his yam seeds grew, and gradually he could harvest barn full of yam, and gradually he rose to power. Thank you.